A serene modern kitchen rests in silence, holding a forgotten ancient glass jar. A lost universe waits patiently inside. These tiny golden spheres seem utterly harmless on the rustic wooden counter, offering mere nourishment. Yet the smooth glass surface cannot contain the heavy echoes of a dark, bloody past. We lean closer to observe the vibrant surface of this tiny, unassuming golden speck of dust. Look deep into the rough texture, tracing the intricate ridges of the shell. A sleeping giant rests here. The solid boundary begins to dissolve as we fall through the microscopic layers of time. The warm golden hues slowly melt into a terrifying ocean of deep, visceral crimson shadows. A turbulent storm of memory awakens, dragging us into the heart of darkness, where ancient gods once bled. We are no longer in a modern kitchen, falling through the terrifying corridors of history. The microscopic fibers suddenly expand to reveal massive, sprawling valleys bathed in harsh, primal sunlight. Welcome to the untamed heart of Mesoamerica, where an empire built its absolute power on a fragile seed. Before the grand, towering pyramids touch the sky, these wild red stalks claim the earth. They drank the fierce boiling sun and thrived where all other delicate life simply perished. This is not merely a plant, a ruthless survivor demanding brutal blood sacrifice. From the absolute beginning, the dry soil remembers the forbidden rituals as we prepare to witness dark, ancient magic. Beneath the bruising purple sky, the ancient earth trembles, holding the dark secrets of profound resilience. A violent storm rips across the land, breaking tall trees but failing to snap these stalks. To understand its terrible enduring power, we must look closely at its silent, microscopic armor, unseen. It does not bend in absolute submission. It merely absorbs the violent rage of nature. Deep beneath the muddy, flooded soil, sharp roots claw aggressively into the harsh volcanic rock. It steals life from the darkness, draining the hidden, ancient, subterranean waters with a violent, unyielding thirst. This fierce biological determination made it immortal in a harsh landscape that frequently destroys life. It is a botanical warrior, wearing a crown of thousands of tiny, blood-red velvet spears. Look closely at the falling seeds. A single plant can brutally conquer the entire valley, alone. Each microscopic speck carries the terrible potential to forge an entirely new, unyielding crimson empire. And when the first wandering tribes arrived, they did not just find a simple food source. They saw a perfect mirror of their own fierce struggle for violent, bloody survival. They recognized its undeniable strength, whispering terrifying prayers to the gods of war, who demanded ultimate sacrifice. The plant of survival quickly transformed into the sacred flesh of the most violent deities. A grand golden age begins, forever binding the delicate golden seed to the sharp obsidian blade. The grand Aztec empire expands, claiming tribute from the conquered lands, a heavy crimson tax. Mountains of golden seeds flow into the glorious capital city every month, feeding a divine hunger. It was not merely food, it was a sacred currency of power, commanding ultimate respect. The emperor stored vast fortunes, guarding the seeds within massive stone walls, an ancient treasury. Every warrior consumed this grain, running effortlessly across the harsh volcanic mountains, fueled by divine energy. The intense heat transforms them, expanding the tiny armor into white clouds, a magical blooming. Women gather around the fire, grinding the white clouds into fine dust, a sacred preparation. The sweet nectar of forests flows slowly into the crushed golden mountain, binding the holy flesh. They create a mystical dough, working the sweet mixture with bare hands, forming a god. The sweet dough is shaped, carving the terrifying visage of the deity. Huitzilopochtli awakens now. But honey was not enough. A darker liquid seals the divine bond, the ultimate offering. Drops of fresh human blood merge silently into the pale amaranth body, a terrifying union. The statue stands perfectly still, watching the trembling city under heavy shadows, hungry for souls. Believers gather in complete silence, waiting to consume the fragmented divine body, a bloody communion. The priests shatter the idol, dividing the holy flesh for the masses, sealing their fate. A dark shadow falls upon the golden coast, bringing men of iron and absolute faith. a heavy doom. Heavy iron boots crush the sacred golden earth, trampling the delicate life beneath unforgiving metal. The end begins. The strangers gaze upon the grand, floating city, marveling at the impossible architecture of heathens. A greedy silence, but absolute wonder quickly turns to visceral horror, witnessing the terrifying, bloody consumption of idols. A dark revelation. Catholic friars watch the unholy red harvest unfold, believing this sacred plant is true evil, a demonic mockery. To them, this was a twisted, dark communion, mocking the holy sacrament of their Savior. A blasphemous grain. A brutal decree is signed in cold blood, demanding the total extinction of the seed. A merciless law. The dark ink bleeds into the fragile paper, sealing the tragic fate of an empire with cold steel. Armored soldiers march fiercely into the vibrant fields, swinging sharp iron swords against fragile flowers. A brutal harvest. The sharp silver blade cleanly severs the stalk, spilling the bright crimson essence upon earth. A silent scream. Anyone caught hiding the forbidden sacred golden grain face the immediate severing of their hands, a terrifying punishment. The rough ropes bite deeply into their wrists, punishing those who protected the holy ancestors with cruel iron. Massive royal granaries are set ablaze by night, burning the ancient accumulated wealth to ash. A fiery demise. Millions of golden spheres pop in the inferno, releasing their final sweet aroma into nothingness. A tragic end. The vibrant crimson empire is violently erased forever, leaving only gray, suffocating ash across mountains. A silent graveyard. The broken survivors flee into the unforgiving mountains, hiding the sacred golden grain in silence. A desperate escape. Rough, trembling hands clutch the tightly woven pouch, protecting the last fragile pulse of life, with deep reverence. Deep inside the damp and freezing hidden caves, planting the remaining tiny seeds in darkness. A quiet rebellion. A single golden sphere falls onto cold rock, waiting patiently for a tiny water drop to begin again. Decades pass silently over the forgotten harsh mountains, erasing the memory of the Crimson Empire beneath gray clouds. Yet beneath the crushing weight of solid stone, a fragile green shoot pushes toward light, defying absolute death. High above the violent reach of armored men, a secret wild valley blooms in red, a hidden sanctuary. The ancient bloodline continues, without temples or priests, surviving quietly upon the harsh wild wind. A silent victory. The massive wheel of history turns without mercy, burying the cruel invaders beneath the earth they once conquered. Thick, resilient roots wrap around a rusted blade, consuming the forgotten iron weapon of destruction with slow grace. The fearful shadows recede as new generations awaken, planting the sacred seeds openly in sunlight, reclaiming their heritage. The gentle hands of a farmer release them, scattering the tiny golden spheres across soil. A hopeful promise. The forbidden crop slowly reclaims its lost kingdom, spreading a vibrant blanket across the valley, undefeated by time. The ancient fires kindled in quiet streets, popping the resilient grain into sweet clouds. A peaceful celebration. Children smile as they taste the sweet honey, consuming the ancient strength of fierce warriors without the blood. The modern world finally looks closer, uncovering the ancient power of this tiny seed, a scientific marvel. Beneath the advanced lenses of modern science, revealing a perfect density of pure healing energy, an absolute miracle. The forbidden Aztec crop crosses vast oceans, conquering new distant lands across the entire globe without violent swords. It thrives where delicate wheat easily perishes, drinking the scarce, hidden water beneath dry earth with fierce determination. The violent ancient history is slowly forgotten, becoming the ultimate pure nourishment for modern life. A peaceful harvest. A gentle golden rain falls once more, blessing the sacred modern table with ancient vitality. A quiet resurrection. Its incredible biological endurance reaches the stars, traveling beyond the atmosphere into the dark void. A cosmic journey. The sacred grain that fed brutal gods, feeding the brave explorers of our vast universe, defying all limits. As the warming modern world grows harsh, providing a crucial, vibrant shield against impending famine, a true savior. It remembers the ancient, dry, volcanic heat, locking the precious silver moisture deep inside itself with perfect efficiency. The forbidden ancient seed reclaims its throne, capturing the absolute highest peaks of global gastronomy with elegant grace. Placed delicately upon the finest modern porcelain, crowning the dark bitter glaze with pure light. A true masterpiece. The ancient Crimson Empire did not die, evolving into a bright celebration of sweet life, a joyful victory. A child holds the ancient sacred bloodline, feeling the gentle warm pulse of surviving ancestors, without any fear. The sacred seed that defied absolute extinction, standing proud across the endless bright modern valleys, an immortal legacy. We now observe the silent ancient survivor, teaching humanity the true meaning of resilience, without shedding any blood. A delicate golden seed rests gently here, holding the immense weight of forgotten empires. In perfect stillness now, the mighty conquistadors built their absolute power, believing iron swords could erase divine nature. A foolish human arrogance. Look closely at the dark, charred earth, watching the bright green life return fiercely, defying absolute human destruction. They burned the sacred, magnificent golden temples, but they could never burn the wind, carrying the eternal seeds. The deep volcanic soil embraces the fallen, nurturing the tiny warriors in cold darkness, awaiting the quiet dawn. True power does not reside in blades, flowing quietly within the gentle, endless harvest, feeding many entire generations. A rough-weathered hand touches the velvet, feeling the ancient heartbeat of fallen ancestors through absolute pure biology. Empires rise and fall into dusty memory, while this vibrant crimson weed stands immortal across all distant continents. It asks for nothing but warm sunlight, transforming harsh drought into sweet white clouds. A truly quiet miracle. Humanity slowly learns a profound, humbling lesson, recognizing that nature will always outlast iron and our human greed. A tiny drop of crystal clear water reflects the entire majestic burning red valley within its small sphere. We are only temporary guests on Earth, walking briefly among these ancient, resilient fields, seeking our ultimate peace. The bloody rituals are gone forever now, leaving only sweet honey and golden grain for our innocent children. The curse was lifted by pure endurance, turning a dark tragedy into brilliant life, a truly breathtaking awakening. The golden dawn breaks across the modern world, bringing a profound silence to these fields. A new era. Gentle hands carefully gather the heavy velvet flowers, honoring the deep, quiet strength of survivors, without any fear. The journey continues from vast, sunlit, wild valleys, reaching the peaceful, quiet heart of homes. A silent return. Millions of golden spheres tumble into clear glass, resting safely after centuries of brutal storms, finally at peace. We slowly return to the serene modern kitchen, leaving the massive, bleeding ancient empires behind. In dusty memory, the transparent glass jar sits completely motionless now, holding the terrifying, epic history within silence. A sleeping giant. Warm afternoon sunlight filters through the rustic window, illuminating the tiny, sacred grains upon wood. A peaceful afternoon. A simple wooden spoon scoops the fragile dust, preparing to nourish a completely innocent life without bloody sacrifice. Water boils gently within the warm, modern home, welcoming the ancient survivor into warm water. A gentle transformation. The resilient, tiny armor softens under gentle heat, releasing the pure, hidden vitality of warriors. For our children, a comforting bowl rests upon the family table, carrying the profound, heavy weight of millennia in pure simplicity. Warm, delicate steam rises slowly toward the ceiling, carrying the faint, sweet memory of valleys into the light. The brutal, dark past is completely washed away, leaving only absolute strength and quiet beauty for all tomorrow. Look deeply at the remaining golden sphere today, knowing it conquered both fire and steel with mere patience. The forgotten bloody universe returns to absolute sleep, waiting silently inside the humble, transparent jar until we remember.